In the final century of the Roman Republic, deep changes stirred every facet of society, fueled by Rome's rapid imperial expansion and evolving political ambitions. This video explores a vibrant era where old traditions met emerging power, blending public service with personal gain. Above all, we focus on Rome's intriguing social structure, from the noble senators and equestrians to the common plebeians, capturing the essence of their daily struggles and luxurious excesses. We journey through political intrigues, familial changes, and shifts in religious practices, unraveling tales that reveal the vibrant life of late Republican Rome. Every detail, from luxurious villas to the spirited debates in public forums, adds layers to the world of Rome that continues to fascinate us today. With a clear, relatable approach, this video unpacks the social, political, and cultural transformations of a society at a crossroads, inviting every viewer to appreciate history's enduring influence. History inspires. Rome's upper classes in the late Republic were divided primarily between the senatorial nobility and the equestrians, two distinct groups that each pursued their own visions of success and power. The senatorial class aimed for the highest political offices while upholding traditions that bound them to public service, yet they were not immune to ambitions that sometimes led to exploitation and corruption. In contrast, the equestrians, who made their wealth through commerce, banking, and financial ventures, embraced a pragmatic approach to power that favored economic influence and personal enrichment. Both groups, however, often worked in concert when it came to advancing their interests, showing little regard for the welfare of the provinces or the lower classes. An infamous example of upper-class exploitation is found in the story of Marcus Brutus, a man celebrated for his impeccable honor, yet shrouded in ruthless business practices. Brutus lent enormous sums to the cities of Cyprus at interest rates reaching a staggering 48%, a rate that highlighted the moral decay among Rome's elite. His efforts to secure repayment were aggressive. He ensured that his agents were granted military authority to enforce contracts, undermining the ethical expectations of a society once built on mutual respect. Yet, when Cicero, serving as governor of Cilicia and Cyprus, intervened by reducing the allowed interest rate to 12%, it became clear that even the most respected figures were entangled in political and economic conflicts. A look at these actions reveals how the upper classes used financial power as a tool for control and influence. The financial ventures and political monopolies pursued by the senators and equestrians reflected a shifting cultural landscape, where personal ambition often outweighed traditional values. The pursuit of wealth and status maintained an iron grip on Roman society, leading to policies that favored the elite while marginalizing the needs of the general populace. This unchecked pursuit of personal gain through economic exploitation would have far-reaching implications for Roman politics and society, setting the stage for further social unrest and military conflicts. Through captivating narratives and vivid imagery, history tells us that the power dynamics of Rome's upper classes were not static, but fluid and adaptive. Within lavish villas and ornate senatorial halls, the rich display of wealth was paralleled by an ever-cunning manipulation of legal and political frameworks. Members of the elite competed fiercely for influence, sometimes forging alliances with military forces or subverting traditional customs in order to secure advantageous financial arrangements. This climate of perpetual competition extended into every aspect of their lives, blending public exploits with private indulgences in a way that fundamentally redefined authority and honor. Thus, through ambition and artful maneuvering, the upper classes left an indelible mark on Roman history. Within the private domains of Rome's elite, the landscape of daily life was transformed by a relentless pursuit of luxury and opulence. Once symbols of familial solidarity and collective honor, the traditional Roman house and hearth began to give way to sprawling villas, enriched with modern conveniences, reminiscent of urban comforts. These country estates, often located in the Sabine hills or along the Campanian coast, became less about agricultural function and more about showcasing wealth and refined taste. Lavish parties, elaborate banquets, and meticulously designed gardens set the stage for vibrant private gatherings where politics, romance, and rivalry mingled freely. As the family unit began to fragment, the independence of women grew, and with it, a shift in social dynamics that was both liberating and disconcerting to traditional values. Wives, once strictly under the authority of their husbands, increasingly retained control over their dowries and inheritances, which empowered them in negotiations of power and status within society. This notable change, while granting personal freedoms, also contributed to a broader erosion of long-standing familial alliances, altering the fabric of Roman moral life. Divorces became common events, reflecting a society where marital ties were no longer immutable bonds, but flexible arrangements based on personal interest. Private indulgence in material comforts was not merely a display of wealth, but an art form among the elite. Ornate decorations, imported art pieces, and exquisite furniture turned personal residences into stages for expression and sophistication. At grand feasts, guests marveled at courses that featured exotic ingredients and intricate culinary artistry, celebrating both innovation and tradition. Still, behind the splendor lay a growing emptiness as excess and extravagance drove a wedge between personal values and public responsibility. In a society where public image was paramount, private excesses became a symbol of both success and social decay, creating a paradox that resonated throughout the corridors of power. The lavish lifestyle of Rome's upper classes, though awe-inspiring, ultimately highlighted a weakening of the bonds that once unified Roman society, reflecting shifting priorities in a world moving swiftly towards modernity. Excess and refinement coexisted, painting a picture of elite life. Rome's plebeians, the lifeblood of the bustling city, experienced a daily reality far different from that of the elite. Living in crowded tenement houses and navigating narrow, lively streets, they formed a vibrant urban community defined by resilience and determination. The plebs played a crucial role in the republic's political arena, especially when their collective vote could sway decisions in the popular assembly. Their influence was often sought through generous public games, spectacular entertainments, and practical largesses that aimed to maintain peace and stability within the city. Central to the urban dynamic was the distribution of corn, a critical lifeline that transformed the plebs into de facto state pensioners. Initially provided at subsidized rates, the grain dole later became a gratuitous monthly allowance that fundamentally altered the social fabric of Rome's metropolis. This policy not only secured the loyalty of the urban masses, but also contributed to rising expectations and demands from an increasingly diverse population. The process saw the number of beneficiaries shift dramatically, reflecting both political maneuvering and pragmatic adjustments made by successive leaders. Peeling back the layers of urban life reveals additional contributors to the city's population. Many freedmen, former slaves who earned their liberty, played significant roles in commerce, crafts, and various service industries. Moreover, rural migrants and displaced peasants, forced to leave their lands by civil conflicts or the settlements of discharged soldiers, flooded into Rome, altering its demographic makeup. This influx enriched the cultural mosaic of the city, while also intensifying social challenges, as the diverse backgrounds of its inhabitants brought both new ideas and complex conflicts. Together, these narratives of struggle and resilience paint a comprehensive picture of urban life in ancient Rome. The plebeians' experiences, marked by both hardship and hope, illustrate how everyday citizens navigated a complex world defined by political maneuvering and social transformation. Their stories reveal a persistent determination to survive and shape their destiny, even in the face of overwhelming challenges. In understanding their contributions, we uncover a critical chapter of history that remains both relatable and inspiring to modern audiences. Their legacy endures through time. Indeed, unquestionably. Beyond the city walls, the rural districts of Italy were defined by a sprawling plantation system that dominated agriculture and grazing through the extensive use of slave labor. On vast estates, or latifundia, agriculture was transformed into a commercial enterprise where wealth was measured by the yields produced on enormous tracts of land. Despite this reliance on slavery, the figure of the free farmer did not vanish entirely. Many Italians continued to work their own plots, preserving age-old traditions of independent agriculture and contributing to a patchwork of cultivated lands that stretched across the countryside. Rural life, though often simpler than urban living, was not devoid of change or challenge. The settlement of discharged soldiers on Italian soil introduced new dynamics into the countryside, infusing regions with vitality while also creating conflicts over land ownership and use. This integration of veteran populations with free landholders contributed to a more complex agricultural landscape, where traditional practices met innovative land management techniques. Over time, these changes underscored the resilience and adaptability of rural communities facing the pressures of an evolving economic system. Furthermore, the rustic ambiance of the Italian countryside offered a stark contrast to the opulence of Rome, embodying both historical legacy and persistent innovation. Local farmers often collaborated with their neighbors, sharing techniques and celebrating seasonal harvests, which fostered a sense of community and mutual support. These enduring rural practices provided stability and continuity amid the Republic's broader transformations. Undoubtedly, the rural spirit thrived, nurturing the heart of ancient Italy. In the waning years of the Republic, religious life in Rome underwent a profound transformation as traditional rituals gave way to new philosophical and cultural influences. The state religion, once a vibrant and well-ordered expression of communal identity, began to suffer from a decline in sincere participation, especially among the upper classes. The religious offices, which were once held by respected patricians, increasingly became instruments for political maneuvering rather than faithful custodians of ancient rites. As the public priesthoods expanded through election rather than inheritance, many office holders appeared unprepared for the solemn duties they were meant to perform, leading to a degradation of religious customs. Amid these developments, the influence of Greek mythology and philosophy introduced alternative worldviews, challenging Rome's traditional conceptions of the divine. Greek deities, reinterpreted and merged with Roman gods, gradually reshaped religious practices, infusing them with a blend of rationalism and emotion that resonated with contemporary sensibilities. Educated elites familiar with Hellenic thought began to view the state cults with skepticism, favoring instead personal philosophies that promoted individual inquiry into the nature of existence and the universe. This cultural infusion fostered an environment in which established religious traditions coexisted uneasily with new, innovative beliefs. Private religious rites, once passed down through generations within family groups, also fell into decay. As older customs were neglected in favor of politically expedient ceremonies, the sacred connection between family and faith began to erode. Even as some residents of Rome clung to superstitions and fervent devotions, their participation in the grand state ceremonies remained minimal. In contrast, the more emotional and mystical cults, such as those honoring Isis, captured the imagination of the common people, offering solace and a sense of renewal amid the uncertainties of everyday life. This divergence between elite indifference and popular devotion underscored a deep and lasting shift in Roman religious life. In light of these religious transformations, Rome's complex spiritual landscape emerged as a tapestry interwoven with ancient tradition and modern influences. The evolving relationship between state and faith not only redefined the public rituals, but also altered the private lives of citizens. Each shift in doctrine and customary practice reflected broader social changes, inviting both critique and reform. As the Republic neared its end, the changing nature of religious expression became a mirror for the tumultuous times, encapsulating both the decline of old certainties and the promise of new ideas. During this era, two major philosophical schools, the Stoics and the Epicureans, offered contrasting approaches to life that resonated deeply with the educated elite. Stoicism, characterized by its emphasis on duty, resilience, and practical virtue, offered Roman statesmen a framework to navigate the turbulent world of public affairs. Adherents of Stoicism believed in living in accordance with nature and reason, which provided structure and clarity amid political strife. In contrast, Epicureanism attracted those seeking intellectual pleasure and personal freedom away from the burdens of civic life. Epicureans advocated withdrawal from political entanglements in favor of cultivating inner tranquility and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. This duality in philosophical thought allowed individuals to choose a path best suited to their personal circumstances, significantly influencing the social and political culture of the Republic. Ultimately, these philosophical movements underscored Rome's dynamic intellectual climate and the complex search for meaning in a rapidly changing world. Literature in the late Republic flourished as a synthesis of Greek sophistication and Roman practicality. The merger of two cultural legacies produced a bilingual civilization that celebrated intellectual achievement while serving the pragmatic demands of politics and law. Drama shifted its focus as tragedies waned and local comedic forms, such as the fabula Atellana and mime, captured the everyday humor and frustrations of the populace. In poetry, voices like Catullus expressed personal passion and vivid emotion, redefining lyrical expression with intricate meters and diverse themes. Catullus's verses, brimming with both love and hate, continue to inform our understanding of Roman personal dynamics. Meanwhile, Lucretius's didactic epic on the nature of things offered a bold exploration of atomic theory and mortality, challenging long-held superstitions with rational inquiry. Oratory and historical prose further enriched Roman intellectual life. Cicero, a master of oratory, not only captivated audiences with his speeches, but also left behind a treasure trove of letters and treatises that provide deep insights into the political and cultural realm. His writings set a benchmark for Latin prose, influencing subsequent generations of statesmen and scholars. Other notable figures, such as Sallust and Varro, contributed to the literary landscape by blending historical analysis with incisive commentary on legal and social matters. Their works, although crafted for a select audience, formed the backbone of Roman intellectual discourse and continue to resonate in modern interpretations of ancient ideals. In sum, Roman literature and intellectual pursuits during the Republic created an enduring legacy that bridged cultural divides and laid the foundation for future Western thought. From the impassioned verses of lyric poets to the rigorous orations of legal minds, every work contributed to a vibrant intellectual mosaic. This vibrant heritage continues to inspire and educate, echoing the brilliance of a civilization that mastered both art and rhetoric. Indeed. In reviewing the transformative era of the late Roman Republic, it becomes clear that its legacy extends far beyond the confines of ancient history. The sweeping changes in social structure, religious practices, and cultural expressions have left an indelible imprint on Western civilization. The fusion of Greek and Roman intellectual traditions created a foundation upon which art, law, literature, and philosophy continue to build. Roman innovations in governance and societal organization inspire modern institutions and remind us of the power of collective human endeavor.